Okay, so we're back, and it is time for the showcase of these 4 characters. Obviously, we're not going to showcase them all in one team. I feel like that would be very unfair to Xiangling, considering she wants to be the main spotlight in terms of Pyro, you know, when you're trying to vaporize. But we will try and test them in their best teams possible. Obviously, it is kind of like a bit difficult to do. Xiangling will be tested in 2 teams, I guess, because she'll be doing both Overload Raiden and her own team. That being said, I guess we're going to try a nice boss for each one. While I wish you could really get like the perfect enemies, I guess Asimon could be pretty good for our overload setup. We'll go with Asimon just because why not. And we will start with the first setup being, let us start with Chevreuse. Let's go backwards this time. So we started from her building, but we'll test them backwards. So first team will be Overload Raiden with this setup. But Xiangling's sub DPS is somewhat decent, and you'll get a little preview of Xiangling, but we want to use her in a vaporized team, so this won't be the final setup. Also, if you're wondering about Chevreuse being here and, you know, losing all the C6 buff, we're gonna switch back into her just before we go into Raiden. So the rotation goes Raiden, Chevreuse, Bennett, Xiangling, Chevreuse, Shogun. So yeah, I don't know how to test like buffing, right? So let's maybe... and we will just have a dead slot on the team there, I guess. I don't know. I think that's the best way to do it. We'll compare it. Also, as always, this is just for Raiden's showcase because, yeah, I don't want to miss crits when I'm trying to show off a support character. If I'm trying to show off a more damage-focused character, they won't get crit food. 80k. That is certainly something. That is pretty bad. Okay, so I've already made an error. Raiden didn't have enough resolve in the first showcase to get anywhere near the damage. So before you see the next showcase, we are rather going to just get a little bit of resolve stack. And by a little bit, I mean full resolve stacks because we had full the moment we used burst on the Chevreuse rotation. So we're just gonna pretend it's a perfect world and that we have full resolve the moment we use the Raiden's burst. 100k, much better than last time. So yeah, that being said, for those who are curious of how the actual Kazuha setup would go, 127k. So Chevreuse is definitely better. I mean, that was definitely going to be the outcome, but it is still good to know that that's a pretty good setup. Also, Chevreuse's team is more energy efficient because of the additional pyro particles floating around. So be gone, good sir. So yeah. There you go. My apologies for messing it up. There's the fixed version. Now, with Chevreuse, with her C6, we probably could have, you know, done a little more, but whatever. It is what it is. Thank you, Kazuha, for being our little placeholder there. Now, we are going to do full rotation with Chevreuse, so it'll be Raiden E, Chevreuse Burst, and this is kind of why we actually need Chevreuse's Burst, because we need a burst on rotation every time so that we get the 2 E's. And I always miss Xiangling stuff there, and I missed you up. 150. That's much better, and Chevreuse does have her burst back. I want to just do the rotation properly this time and get our final number in. And we missed, of course. Just natural that we missed. Also, I just need to make sure my Raiden build. Oh, I mean, it's our Raiden build now. Also, we have an additional 12% crit rate on top of that. That is actually hilarious. We just absolutely slammed that 7%. Just dead on. Absolutely face tanked it. What a tasty little 7%. 50k. Okay, so 54k is correct. And I'm assuming at the time, because we do take a second there on field on purpose, not only to wait for, to wait for the gosh, that electro bonus really got me there. Not only to wait for the skill cooldown to go off, but also to get another heal in the Chevreuse so we get another stack of her healing. This is honestly not bad damage, right? I mean, 150k isn't brilliant. It's mostly attributed to my Raiden, though, I think you could say. But yeah, not bad. Yeah, 162k, not bad. And then the slashes are hitting for like 30, 27. Not terrible for C0 Raiden that is built. Okay, I mean, she has some... she has a good amount of attack there. Good amount of attack there. The crit subs should be a bit better. Could have more ER. this is not Raiden's, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay, sorry. These two are so similar. Yeah, this is Xiangling, so okay, not bad. Not terrible at all in terms of buffing capabilities. Okay, now for our next setup. So Xiangling, not terrible at all. Our next one is one of my favorite setups. Melt Wriothesley, my top 1% Melt Wriothesley. Yep, and he's actually kind of like top 0.16%, so don't mind me, just absolutely, you know, bragging right now. I'm so sorry, my apologies. Perfect team to use against Papilla, by the way. If you're thinking of a nice team to use, a Burn Melt team goes pretty well. Wriothesley's Burn Melt team goes especially well. The only problem is Nahida only really gets her burst every 2 rotations, but that's a Nahida problem, not, yeah. You could say that Nahida's probably also one of the characters we need to fix, but, yeah. Also, we are trying to watch... I'm messing up the charged attacks. Okay, but hey, look here. Also, she has much better energy recharge than she had last time, but you wouldn't know that because you didn't see my previous setup. Not bad. I feel like we can do better. Obviously, as a Pyro applicator, she's not terrible. Let's be honest, as much as I like Melt Wriothesley and how good my Melt Wriothesley is, I'm pretty bad at playing it, so let's do something that is a little more brain dead. Okay, so this is a setup of all time. It does come with its problems, naturally, such as Nahida's skill lasting too long, and basically Mualani just blooms every Dendro after a certain point, which is kind of sucky, but it is what it is. The first rotation is the best, and we need our energy. Technically speaking, she could be on a Favonius to try and battery Nahida a little bit, but it doesn't really work anyways, so I give up on it. Also, my Sitlali's kind of cheeks, so that's also a part of the problem. As you can see, really good setup. The little intervals between the Pyro skill ticks line up very perfectly to allow Mualani to vaporize them, obviously. It doesn't go flawlessly as it is a burn team, and Sitlali is your only sustain, and her shield isn't always the best. My Sitlali is not exactly fantastic, with very poor energy recharge and not exactly brilliant EM either. I think I have an unleveled Sans here. This pretty bad setup, but if you can get like a thick enough Sitlali shield and she can give you burst, it is a pretty good setup, and it does work. I have cleared Abyss with it. I have cleared this Abyss with it. This one I will show you now. This Abyss with Melt Mualani, or Vaporize Mualani at the top, and Freeze Wriothesley at the bottom. I've also cleared it with Freeze Skirk, but I mean, same thing, you know, it's just one different DPS, and they do Skirk does way better damage, but I'm gonna pretend that Wriothesley's really good as well. Okay, so obviously pretty happy with Traveler. I mean, they're really just like a little bit of a buffer. I don't know, I think because there's probably better things I could do with the character, but I guess this is the best I can do, and hope that Cinder City works sometimes, but I don't think it really ever does. So it has its problems, right? But that's mostly due to Mualani's very poor Hydra application. And Wriothesley also kind of works pretty well. I would say Wriothesley is actually the one that works better, because you can reapply enough cryo to once again melt it with her and give you all the Cinder City buffs. So yes, the Melt Wriothesley team is technically better, but since Mualani is an Atlan character, she does better because she's newer. Okay, but there we go. That is it for the Pyro MC. I'm gonna be real with you. This is all I can think of. How do I put it? I don't really know where Xingqiu fits, right? I know he has teams. I know he can work in a Hyperbloom team as a pretty good Hydra applicator. I feel like everything he does is already like shown off pretty well by anybody you're watching. So I guess we're gonna try and push his damage to as far as it can go. Obviously, I wish I could use this weapon and give him a crit damage circlet, but I don't have an ER Sans. I've mentioned this in the previous video, but yes, I am ER Sans list when it comes to, well, good ER Sans list. The best one I have for him is this or this. It's bad, and that's with me making Sans like on purpose and getting them randomly, and then they go like this. This would be pretty good for him, admittedly. So if we get a better one for Shogun, this could go on him, and then I could do my Wolfang dream. If we fight the solitary Sony, we actually managed to rip through... sorry, give me a second. I just need to remember. 20 res plus 40 res from the artifact set, right? Yeah. So we can give it only 10% res. And I know some people are probably telling me to use Escoffier and that Escoffier is better. But the fact is, I'm getting over like 70% elemental damage boost with Zitlali and Kazuha plus 60% res shred. So it's just better. I feel like we can make this look somewhat decent, even though it's a Hydra res boss. And I think that would be pretty cool. And obviously we can also fight something that doesn't have Hydra res afterwards. Pretty simple. Xingqiu, Yelan. I missed it with a skill. And Xingqiu's rain swords are hitting for 6k, I think, and Yelan's are hitting for how much? And Kazuha works to break the shield, actually. That's 4k. That's 4, nearly 5k. Yeah, and if we make him the active character, they can hit for 6k due to Yelan's talent. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty decent, I would say. Obviously, definitely not his best team. Yelan and Xingqiu are Hydra applicators, so you really want to run them in like a Hyper Bloom team. They're really good in Hyper Bloom teams, but like we've all seen that before, and they're trying to phase out Hyper Bloom so much. 16k on little slash. Wow, that's more than I ever used to get. Brilliant. Like I said, we can test the Hydra application, and Hydra application is very good for breaking shields. Xingqiu's rain swords actually hit this thing when Yelan's don't. So yeah, I guess this is a perfect little test. The only problem is that Lolly won't be giving, you know. Actually, it is applied with Hydra. Oh, 7k on his, 8k on his, 12k on Yelan's. And just really good damage, right? Those are really good sub DPSs. And when they're in a double Hydra team like this, they first of all break shields like nothing else. They can even break Electro shields pretty damn quickly, considering Electro is not super weak to Hydro. So you'd actually be surprised how well this setup works for breaking almost any kind of shield, right? Because that's 130 ER. That is not going a second rotation, but we will be doing good damage for one rotation. And let us go and let's fight something. Let's fight the crab again. Yeah, actually having the resistance helps because we get to, you know, fight it longer. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is... You know, the thing is, right? That's actually so close to being doable. Fun Xingqiu setup. I enjoyed that actually quite a lot. Now, finally, our final setup. Bit of an outdated setup, I know. You may see this guy here and wonder what he's gonna do. Apply Hydro. Yeah, pretty sick loadout. Pretty fantastic, if I do say so myself. Not too bad. Okay, we're just gonna go with that. And we are actually gonna go to floor 11 for this one. Okay, so normal uncharged. That's helping child more. I'm trying to see Xiangling's damage and it's not coming through. Obviously, this team is pretty dated, I must say. There we go. Okay. Second side will be better. I'm sure we won't kill them that quickly with Kazuha. Surely, right? Oh, 118k on a slash with Skirk. Jeez. Kicking ass. Oh, it makes the side look so bad. Oh, elemental burst damage. Perfect.
One with wind and cloud. Go in. Let's light it up. The wind knows me.
34k, 30... What? I think that was like 34k highest.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Okay, yeah, that's basically where it ends. Now, technically, reconfigure party. We will... Oh, they did fix that thing. Now, we can technically do one thing that will maybe fix Xiangling. The only problem is it fixes it for one rotation, and then it's pretty much done for. We can change this or this. Can actually start with burst there, but not that really matters. Thank you, stupid mushroom. 47k, vaporized. Pretty nasty vaporized damage there. And her energy's not bad. Wait, this might be the setup. Wait a minute. Okay, but there were enemies giving me energy probably. And look at those overloads. 10k overload damage is nuts. Without the bonus from enemies affected by blah blah blah. Okay, that was cool. That was actually really cool. Am I gonna already change my build from the previous video? Pretty bad, pretty bad. I messed that up really badly. Let's try that again.
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
41k.
Fallen leaves adorn my nut. Go in. Let's light it up.
Yeah. I feel like you're still gonna struggle somewhat, but not bad. That is not bad. Again, multi-target, really good. Really good. Unfortunately, it seems like the new multi-target meta is electro-charged, but I feel like that still is pretty good. It's just unfortunate that they never give those types of situations for Abyss 12.
Take your true form. Do your master's bidding. Chevreuse on the loose. The stars.
Oh no, wait, I died to the electro dude. Okay, whatever. It's dead. Look at that. I've just realized that I didn't do the most fun Xiangling setup, and that's the rare case setup where you're fighting Hydro enemies, right? And you can overload against them and actually get a metric butt ton of damage. So we're gonna go to the Hydro teleport over here. I meant to do this, I just kind of forgot, because this is technically the best Xiangling team versus these things, but yeah, it doesn't always work perfectly. You can also exchange Raiden for Fischl technically and just do a full 4-star team. I forgot to switch weapon. Sorry, that was a terrible showcase. I wondered why the damage was slightly low. I was expecting like 40k and I got 34k and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, obviously, again, national will still do better because it does give buffs as long as you get that double scroll in. But there we go. There's the 40k I was expecting. And it's gone already. How did you do that? Oh wait, it's only gone because he's like... Okay. Damn it, Chevreuse, you had one job. Okay, we're fine. We're just waiting for Chevreuse to finish it off. Bang. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. That's funny. 5% crit rate. Hell yeah, Chevreuse. If I have any advice for new players, don't get Skirk. please, I'm begging you, if you're looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, this skirt character is so strong, you need basically all the characters shown above. You don't need them, but you won't be hitting nearly as much without them. They're pretty, they're like almost a must, almost. I think they are pretty much a must. But yeah, that's about it. That was pretty fun. I love Tartaglia. I wish they would make him more useful. I really wish I had a better weapon for him. I really wish I had an actual artifact set for him, but that was not horrible. All things considered, I would like to give him a full nymph set. I do have some artifacts to strongbox, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do... This is going to be very repetitive plunges because we're basically going to plunge off a Venti statue every time for this little mini-series. We're going to start at Venti statue and end at Venti statue every time. So yeah, get used to it. We love Venti statue. Venti statue is the best. It's just it's trying to manifest them buffing Venti. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna plunge with Tartag because I feel like he is the MVP of this today. Not bad. Xiangling, his build has already changed. I think I'm gonna go with this rather. The 195 ER may be a little questionable, and she won't be as good in a like the overload team, so we'll probably just switch her weapon in and out between overload and vaporized teams. But for this setup, which is a pretty old setup that again, if they just give multi-target, will probably slap harder than a lot of Natlan teams, not counting Moika, because Moika is just stupid and has like massive AoE that a lot of the other Natlan characters don't really have. Though there's Chaska, but again, this setup can go well. They just specifically keep not putting this setup in because they know that the moment they allow you to use this, it's it's curtains. This is gonna be a good team again. But anyways, enough of me stroking Tartaglia. That doesn't sound right, but you know what, I'm gonna let it slide because child. Wait, no. Ignore that. I didn't say that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you do have an amazing rest of your day. And bye.